105 Esoteric Traditions of the World. 2. Forbidden Paths, Cathars, Yazidis, Sethian Gnostics, Agori, Left-Hand Tantra, Taoist Thunder Magic, Umbanda. 105 Secret Paths to Buried Wisdom, Book 2, by Laing Z. Matthews. Book 2 of 7. Esoteric Traditions of the World, 105 Secret Paths to Buried Wisdom. Not all sacred knowledge is safe. Some teachings have been silenced, outlawed, or forced into disguise, not because they are false, but because they overturn the structures of control. Dangerous Teachings gathers 15 lineages whose survival has depended on secrecy, exile, and the courage of those willing to carry wisdom that could not be spoken aloud. Across continents and centuries, these traditions have been branded as heresy, magic, or madness. Yet within them lie precise spiritual technologies, ways of seeing, healing, and awakening that confront the deepest fears of empire, orthodoxy, and conformity. This is not sensationalism. It is the reality of what happens when the sacred refuses to bow to power. In these pages, you will meet visionaries, ascetics, and mystics who kept the thread alive under threat of prison, exile, or death. Native American church peyote roadmen keeping the night fire through prohibition. Romani dream readers decoding fate under centuries of persecution. Siberian dreamwalkers retrieving lost souls when the state outlawed shamanism, Dagara diviners in West Africa speaking with elements and ancestors against the tide of colonial erasure, Kalachakra adepts preserving the Wheel of Time Tantra through the destruction of Tibet, forest Theravada monks disappearing into wilderness to escape religious bureaucracy, Essene breath mystics whose desert rites survived in fragments, Golden Dawn adepts using ritual as a science of transformation, not spectacle, Assyrian Christian mystics guarding the Aramaic breath of Christ through genocide. Each chapter follows the same initiatory pattern, the core teaching of the tradition, the spiritual condition it addresses, its inner technology of practice, its symbol or image, and the key danger it faces, whether distortion, commodification, or outright destruction. Every section closes with a living practice the reader can try, and an image or parable to seal the teaching in memory. Dangerous Teachings is not a handbook for dabblers. It is a map for those who understand that real wisdom demands responsibility and sometimes risk. This is not the marketplace version of spirituality, stripped of its teeth. It is the unsoftened, unlicensed transmission of currents that have survived precisely because they refused to be made safe. Volume 2 continues the work begun in Guardians of the First Flame, shifting from primordial traditions to those forced underground by direct suppression. Together, the 7 volumes of Esoteric Traditions of the World form an arc of memory, rescuing not just facts, but the living essence of ways of knowing that might otherwise vanish. If you read this book, you step into that arc. You take on a share of the responsibility to remember, and perhaps, if the time comes, to pass the fire on.